And we are on one take at Sinner to Winner. I am going through a divorce with a child. Here's my advice. Wow, first of all, I just had to take 3 deep breaths before I press that record button then. I'm feeling a little nervous. I like to keep it completely authentic on this channel. When I'm doing these videos between the podcasts, I just want to do one take. That's all I do. I press record, I speak from my heart, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I've told you before, I'm a mood ring. You can see my colors. It's no BS here. I'm just going to tell you my strength, hope, and experience. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're going through a divorce and you have a child, or you're separating and you have a child, and maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. Or maybe you're just being a nosy Parker and you know me and you want to see what I'm going to say. Hey, everybody's welcome. And I don't know what I'm going to say. So it's a little bit like when you watch Tyson Fury fight. He says, try and work me out. I can't even work myself out. So here I am. What's going to come up today? I think the thing that I want to say to and obviously I'm speaking from a man's point of view, but I think it's either or. A woman or a man can take a lot from probably this. A parent can take a lot from this. A person in a relationship can probably take a lot from this, I would imagine. Because I said to someone the other day, I said, you might want what I've got. You might want, I don't know, things, energy, je ne sais quoi. I don't know what it is, but you might not want to go through what I've been through. And I got to be honest, going through a separation with a child is probably one of the worst things I can imagine. It's grief. So I'm sorry if you're going through this. It's tough. I know it's tough. And I would say to you this: practice equanimity, okay? You're going to have equanimity. You're going to have a mental calmness, because this situation is going to test you. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Obviously, I think of when you break up with anybody, it's tough, it doesn't matter. Human beings don't like change. So whenever you go through a breakup, it's difficult because it's change. And you couple that with the grief of a loss of something, the end of something, and then you couple that, or you triple that, with a child who perhaps you've been there in the house, you've held, you wake up with, you take to school, you pick up from school. All this changes, and it's heartbreaking. It's not easy, but it is the way it is. And let's look at this. Let's look at this analogy. The airplane is going down. The oxygen masks have been released, and here's what they tell you to do. You've got to put on your own oxygen mask first. Okay, it's so intuitive. You as a parent, you're like, no, it's my child. I want to see my child. Or no, this is the right thing, and blah 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 blah. Right? But it's been my experience, and when I spoke to experts, like whether it's it's a professional, a therapist, a police officer, a teacher, another parent, a loved one, if these people, and they all do, care about that child, care about this relationship, that union, they will tell you the same thing. They've told me the same thing. I'll tell you what they've told me. They've said, if you want the best for your child, if you want the best for your situation, get yourself strong. You have to put on the oxygen mask first. You have to put on the oxygen mask first. You have to make sure you are strong, and then everybody else benefits around you. It's a ripple effect of being the example. It makes me think about when I'm in my 12-step groups. All this is just coming to me now. Thank you, universal energy. Thank you, Lord of Light. Thank you, Holy Spirit, because this is coming to me now, and I need to tell you this. Like, if you put God first, if you put let go and let God, stay out of the results of this situation. Stop trying to control. Stop trying to get everything your way. If you stay out of the results and you let go and let God, if you put God first, you will have a first-class life. It will be a first-class result. Where I've made mistakes, and boy, have I make mistakes. I'm human in my life. That's why I make this channel. Hopefully, you can watch this stuff. You can listen to me. You can learn from my mistakes. I didn't put on the oxygen mask first. I was trying to fix everybody else, trying to make sure everything was all right, and that's no good. If you put God first, if you stay out of the results and you take direction, everybody else will have a first class life around you. If you put God first, everybody else will have a first class life around you. And look, we all want to be idealistic. We can all, say we could all say, well, this is the right way and I know it and blah 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 blah. But these situations are difficult. You look at any situations, you go to the courts, you go to lawyers, you go to mediators, you go to therapists. Everybody's got their side of the story. What's good or bad? It's just the thinking that makes it so. When there's a crime scene, right? When there's a crime scene, we know that if you ask somebody who saw it from here and somebody who saw it from here, the crime that's here, they will have two different accounts. There's the crime, but people see it different ways, and there'll be two different accounts. And I think it's important to have compassion and empathy for your partner, for your child, for family members. It's easier said than done, right? Because we were standing there and we saw it this way. And it's like, well, no, I was standing here and I saw it this way. Everything's relative. So if you can be the bigger person and you can stay out of the results and you can understand that people see things differently. People see things differently. People have a different, maybe, value and moral system. And people, as individualistic as we are, as unique as we are, they can be predictable too. There are things in these situations. There is wordage, vernacular, whatever you want to call it. You can hear things like parental alienation. You can hear things like weaponizing a child. These are things that have come into existence because that's what happens whether you're a man or a woman. Unfortunately, people lie. People will say things to get what they want. People will react to another reaction, and things can escalate, before you know it, tit for tat. It's not good. It's not good. And I think that's why it's important to get help. I would say get outside help, whether it's a therapist, family therapist, whether it's a mediator, whether it's the law, family lawyers, or whether it's a specialist, social services, whatever helps, whatever could referee this situation that's got so much emotion attached to it. Because as much as we want to think, oh, this is right or this is right, etc., this stuff can be pretty predictable. Let me tell you a tale. Have you heard the tale of the scorpion and the frog? If you have, great. If you haven't, let me give a recap, or let me enlighten you. There's a flood in the jungle, and there's a river, and on one side there's a scorpion and the frog, and this is the side that's going to get flooded, and on the other side is dry land, and that's not going to get flooded. So the frog, he's going to make his way over, and he's going to survive. The scorpion can't swim across the river, so he's going to die. So he says to the frog, "Hey, please, can you take me? Can you let me get over to dry land, or else I'm going to die?" And the frog says, "Yeah, if I put you on my back, you could sting me. You're probably going to sting me, and then I'll die." And the scorpion says, "Are you crazy? Like, we're going to cross this river. Why would I sting you? Then we'll both die." And the frog thinks about it, and he thinks, "You know what? Yeah, I'm going to help him. I'm going to get over the river. We'll be okay. There's no way he's going to kill me, because then we both die, and he's going to be grateful, right? Because I'm going to do the right thing." And so it's about to flood. He goes, "Get on, hop on, come on, let's go, yeehaw." Gets across the river, the other side floods, he's thinking, this is good, he would have died, we're gonna get there. They're just about to get to dry land, and all of a sudden, the scorpion, he stings the frog, and the frog's like, what? They're both, the scorpion can't swim, the frog's, gonna die, and he's going down. And they're both going down, and just before, like, they're drowning or whatever, the frog says to the scorpion, like, what? Why did you do that? Why did you sting me? Now we're both gonna die. And the scorpion says, I'm sorry. It's just in my nature. And that's that's not pointing the finger at anybody, but there is a nature to these situations, and you have to remember that. And I think that's why it's so important to get help. And sometimes we are not thinking right. And it's so important to run things by people before we make that decision, before we make those decisions, to think, yeah, doing the right thing. This is a good thing. Get on me back. Let's go. Maybe speak to people who've been where you want to, or have been where you are and have what you want. Or professionals that have seen it all before and that can advise you and basically say, hey, concentrate on yourself, keep your side of the street clean, okay? And that's what's coming up for me. I think that the best thing we can do, look, the most important thing in my situation is my child. I love my child. I've spent over 5 figures now on lawyers, 5 figures coming, and the whole thing. I don't want to get into it too much because I love my child. I love my child's mother. I love the families connected. Life is really difficult and really complicated, and I think it's important to stay positive and not concentrate on these little, whatever they are. It's either the glass is half empty or the glass is half full, right? Um, it's like, do I want to be a victim? No, stay away from that. Hey, let's end there. That's a great place to end. Whatever happens, stay away from being a victim. I am here today because of my choices, okay? It is what it is. I will deal with them. I will deal with them, and I will make sure that I give the best and I take responsibility. Stay away from blaming. Stay away from bad mouthing your anybody involved in the situation. It's not a good look. It's toxic. It doesn't help. And I'm speaking from experience because I've made that mistake. I will own it. There has been times where I've spoke, is it unflatteringly about people in this situation because you're so emotional and you feel like the injustice. Oh, justified anger. Stay away from it. It's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. So stay away from that. Don't be a victim. Get on with it. Make the best of it. Get yourself strong. And when I say get yourself strong, I mean, like, start getting good hobbies. Start drinking lots of water. Start working out. Learn things. Go to an improv class. Go to a salsa dancing class. Travel. Be the example. Be the change you wish to see, especially for your kids, right? You want your kids to be consistent. You want your kids to have good manners. You want your kids to treat other people how they want to be treated. All these things. Do it. Be the example. I would say that would be the other thing. Stay away from being a victim. Get into owning it. Extreme ownership. Get involved in podcasts. Like, brainwash yourself. Forget how you're feeling. Feelings are not facts, okay? Feelings are not facts. Write down what you want to achieve. Write down who you want to be. Write down the outcomes. Read those every day. Get after it. Feelings are not facts. And act yourself into right thinking. Get that structure. Good habits. And surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with good people, good information, all your senses. Look after yourself. Love yourself. Stay away from the justified anger at all costs. So I hope this has helped someone. I've been talking now for 14 minutes. 14 is my lucky number. I was born on the 14th. I think it's a great place to end. I love you. Com Deus.